Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 Everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video, and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to a new version. I would say version 429, which is Android 10 Beta 3. So let's begin with this. So on my screen, you are able to view that this particular version is based on Android 10. Then with the security patch level of 5 June 2020, with the kernel version 4.4.192 Perf Plus, and a part of this build number ending 429 and build date is 14th of June 2020. In this particular video, we're going to discuss lots of things. You can even consider it as a review plus first look. So firstly, we'll move to the system section and afterward gesture and again to the gesture. So I always love to turn it on or off, like tap to wake up, double tap to wake, and so on. So if you are a like gesture, like you use gestures in your day-to-day life, then you can turn it on by moving on here. Afterward, system navigation. So by default for the videos, like convenience, I use 3 button, but you can move to 2 button. Then it will change to 2 button. You can even use gesture based, that is like released in Android 10. But like there is one bug with this particular gesture navigation. So you can see like there is a gap between this particular first line of icon set with respect to the gesture navigation, which is tend to be at a very bottom side. Hopefully Asus can resolve it in the coming days and so on. Let me revert back to 3 button. So as I've told you that we will be going through first look part as well. So I've already turned on developer option. I need to discuss few points. So for that, firstly thing is that how to turn it on the developer option. Just tap 7 to 8 times and afterward it will say you are a developer now and so on. Afterward you have to move to system and then you will be able to view these options like. After that you have to move to system and then you will be able to view this option like developer options. Then you can go here. First option is related to debugging. So you just have to see debugging and afterward you should turn it on like USB debugging. You can turn it on any version because this will surely be helpful at your side, because now like in previous 1 to 2 months few users have complained that their phone has been stuck at a Asus logo. Some said that their device is corrupted and so on. If these things are turned on, then you can play with the QFill method and by using that you can recover your phone, although data will be lost, but eventually your device will be recovered. Afterward, gaming driver preferences, or I would say game driver preferences. In this video I won't be discussing this because I've already created a dedicated video on this in the past, and I'll be providing you that URL in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. And afterward we'll move to the drawing section. So this is a drawing section and here you have to set to, like, it's your wish, but I always recommend to set these to 0.5x scale, like Windows animation scale, transition animation scale, animator. By default it is always 1x, but I always recommend to use 0.5x. Afterward, now I'll move to the minor I would say customization part. So for that you have to move to very bottom and you will find this theming. Here there are 3 different options. One is accent color, headline, body font, and icon shape. Just tap on accent color. By default I have choose green. Let me use orchid. Now it has been changed from green to orchid. Now by default I have selected Noto serif. Let me change to device default, and now the font has been changed. And by default the icon shape is teardrop, so let me change it to maybe rounded rectangle. So now it will be it will be set throughout the system wide. So let's say now you are able to view that icon shapes are rounded, rectangle, and so on. So after this, the best part would be, or I would say the next part would be related to security, because in previous Android 10 beta version few users have complained about fingerprint and face unlock. So I can bet you that in this particular video, or I would say in this particular Android 10 beta 3 version, you will be able to find fingerprint and face recognition working absolutely fine. There is hardly a little bit latency in both. Apart to this, pin, pattern, password swipe, all are working absolutely fine. Now let's move to the sound section. So as compared to version 424, I do feel that the sound is little bit improved. If again you are facing some problem, then I have already created a resolution for the same in with the previous version, and I'll be discussing, or I would say I'll be sharing the same in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. Now from a lock screen perspective, you have to tap to display. Afterward you have to move to lock screen display. Here you have it would be good if you can turn out show lockdown option, because whenever you will be pressing here, then the phone will be locked down. Apart to this, the notification related issue has been resolved, which was persisting in the version 424. Now it is working absolutely fine in terms of LED notifications and so on. Now let's discuss from a battery matrix side, because this is the most important and vital part. So firstly, we'll discuss about charging time. So it took nearly about 2 hours and 53 minutes to fully charge my phone from 0 to 100%. So as compared to the previous version, it is working fine. Apart to this ideal battery drainage, so in this particular ROM, or I would say for this particular ROM or version 429, I have followed two different approaches. The first approach was that I just installed this particular version, and afterward I reset my phone, and I haven't installed even a single custom app on it and analyzed it for 7 to 8 hours, and it was hardly drained nearly about 1 to 2% of battery over those 7 to 8 hours. And afterward I followed the second approach. That's a normal, like whenever you are using phone, you will be installing custom apps like any gaming apps and so on. So during that part, the battery drainage was somewhat more. So over a span of 7 to 8 hours, the battery drainage was nearly about 4 to 5%. So again, I will recommend that this is a satisfactory one, because on the basis of phone's age, because this particular phone is being introduced 2 years back. And apart to this, if someone is facing like, I would say 10%, 20%, 30%, then firstly they would look for the replacement of their charger, because I'm not using ASUS default charger. I'm using 10 watt compatible. Otherwise they can move to the, or go to the service ASUS service center, and they can inspect their battery as well. Now let's discuss from the battery consumption side. For that, and with this we will be discussing the gaming part as well. So for battery consumption, I have used PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty. So firstly, let's discuss from the PUBG Mobile side. So on my screen, you are able to view the graphic settings and frame rate setting for the PUBG Mobile. So I was using HD as a graphic setting and frame rate as a high, which is a highly available for our device, or I would say maximum available for our device. So during a 1 hour of gameplay, the battery consumption was nearly about 14 to 15%, and sometimes it was 15 to 16%. So you can term it as an 40 to 15%. Apart to this, I have also noted down the temperature reading. So before playing the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 35 degree. As soon as I completed, the temperature of my phone was 40 degree. Apart to this, I haven't faced any lag while playing this particular game, which I was facing in version 082. So overall, the gameplay was smooth play. I would say smooth. Now let's move to the Call of Duty part and discuss the battery consumption and gaming experience. So on my screen, you are able to view the graphic settings and frame rate setting for the Call of Duty's like game. So medium graphic quality, and I would say high frame rate. This is the maximum which is being supported at our phone, or on our phone. So again, to analyze the battery consumption, I have played nearly about 1 hour of gameplay. So battery consumption was sometimes 17 to 18%, sometimes 18 to 19%. So you can term it as between 17 to 18 at max. And apart of these, I have also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 36 degree, and after as soon as I completed, the temperature of my phone was 40 degree. And apart of this, the gameplay on this particular game was also smooth. There was no lag and so on. But again, if someone is facing, then do let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see how many users are facing that issue. Maybe there might be very minor cases. So in that case, I would recommend to reset your phone. So after battery matrix, now let's move to connected devices. So in this particular section, I usually test two things. One is Bluetooth devices and another is screencasting. So screencasting is working absolutely fine, and I have tested on 2 to 3 different laptops, and it was able to connect on a very first instance. Apart to this, Bluetooth, it is working fine for file transfer, and like I would say audio via Bluetooth devices and so on. So overall, there is no problem with the connected devices. Now let's move to network and internet. So from the Wi-Fi calling perspective, it is available for Jio and still not available for the Airtel. Not sure whether it will be available ever on our phone for Airtel or not. Apart to this, there is no provision for native video calling, no provision for call recorder. But good thing is that Wi-Fi connectivity, mobile internet, SMS call, all are working absolutely fine without any glitch, without any problem. Now let's move to the quick setting sections. So all the vital quick settings are available here, and all are working absolutely fine, like dark theme toggle. So it is working system wide. Apart to this, like torch, Wi-Fi hotspot and so on. Even they have provided a shortcut to the storage section as well. Apart to this, FM radio is also working absolutely fine. Now let's discuss from the bug side. So very first bug that you will encounter on your home screen is related to this particular search bar. So you now this is again fixed, which was persisting since 424, that is beta version 2. So you can't move it up and down. It will be like fixed as, and hopefully this will be resolved in next version. But it is very minor thing. Not sure why it is not, like ASUS is not able to remove it or resolve it. Apart to this, Zenfone logo is again back in the boot screen. Hopefully that will be resolved whenever they will be having a stable version, and whenever they'll be shipping it for the Indian versions and so on. Apart of this gap between navigation bar using gestures navigation bar, so I have already discussed that part. Apart to this vibration issue, yes, so now vibration related issue has been somewhat better now, like it has been resolved to some extent, but again I think that there is a probability of improving it. Apart to this, there I have also faced one bug related to USB preferences. Whenever you plug USB and connect it with your laptop or PC, whenever you try to do file transfer, your phone will not be able to connect. So if someone else is also facing the same, then do let us know in the below, like comment section below. Now let's move to the status of camera to API. So by default it is showing me level 3, although before like installing this the camera to API status on my phone was level 3. Most probably Android 10 is being shipping by default with the support of camera to API. So you can test any compatible Gcam. I have already tested one and I'll be providing you the URL in the description box below. Apart to this status of Widevine certification, at my side it is showing me L3 because I have flashed the firmware version 407 on TWRP with some custom ROM, and afterward I am facing this issue, and most probably this will not be going to resolve for me. But if at your side it is L1, then it will be showing you L1 afterward as well. And for the stock camera, like I do see improvement in the rear or back camera, but in terms of image quality, but as compared to the front or selfie camera, it is almost poor, or I would say average. Hopefully this will also be resolved. And apart of this, now let's move to the benchmark score. So for that I've already like analyzed on the basis of Antutu and Geekbench scores. So let's open Antutu first. So these are the overall score, that is nearly about 1,44,000, or I would say 1,48,000 plus. And these are the consolidated part. One is CPU, GPU, memory management, and UX. Apart to this, I've also noted down the benchmark scores from a Geekbench 5's perspective. So in a CPU's perspective, or from a CPU's perspective, single core score is 263, multi-core score is 1161. Apart to this computation using OpenCL, it is showing me 447, but I was unable to run it for the Vulkan API because whenever I was trying to run it, it was failing. And you can find that option under compute, then OpenCL, and this Vulkan API. So now the very last part is related to RAM or memory management. So let's move it to that. So let me open few apps. So I think let's start with the Call of Duty first. So wherever we have left, it has opened from the same screen rather than starting from the same. So I was like, while creating video, I have opened this particular screen. Now let me see in terms of Call of Duty. Okay, it has also opened from the same window or same screen. Sometimes it does prompt you like connecting to server and so on. So that's not a problem. Apart to this, let's open few other things like Antutu benchmark score. So this particular app always like restart, but it will open from the same window again where you have left rather than from this particular, I would say, window where it is only showing you overall score. Apart of this, let's open maybe Geekbench scores. So it is working absolutely fine. A part of this status of camera to API, it is also working fine. Then maybe status of Widevine certification, all are working fine. So overall RAM and memory management is working absolutely fine. There is no problem with it. And I would suggest it always work good between 10 to 15 minutes, after sometime 10 to 12 minutes. So after, you can consider after 12 to 15 minutes, your app will be most probably flushed by OS from the RAM and it will be going to restart again. Now apart to this, the overall review score of this particular version is 80 out of 100 from my side, as compared to previous version 424 where I have like rated it as 75 out of 100. So I do see some improvement, that's why I have increased the review score. So this was all from my side related to the review of version 429, that is Android 10 beta 3 version or developer version 2. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family. And apart from this, please subscribe to our channel because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.